Hello there, it's been a while, I'm sorry, I've been so busy recently, but I wanted to stop for a minute and make this short video, which is nothing more than a bit of a ramble again, about the Sony Z90 and my continued experience with it. But the thing and the key to this video is a bag. Now I know you're probably thinking, how can you get excited about a camera bag? Well, I can because I've actually finally found the bag that just does it for me. So in the past I've used penny cases with Trek pack dividers, which I have to say are absolutely brilliant to pack cameras in. I've also had Porta brace and long before that other camera bags like Kata and all kinds. But the thing that I really like is a case where I know there's a slot or a shape for everything. So I mean, you figure this, so you go out for a shoot, it's a long day shoot, you're absolutely exhausted, you pack all your kit up, and then you come home. And this hasn't happened to me, but I'm always concerned and worried about leaving something behind, forgetting something. So in the past, what I've done is I've written lists and laminated them and put them into camera bags, but invariably these lists of what the bag contains, you know, that gets lost, or I end up using it to scribble with a Sharpie on or something. So that didn't work for me either. So I figured, well, you know, let's do it. Let's make the ultimate Sony Z90, NX80 or AX700 camera bag. But let me explain what it is if you haven't seen one of these before. So this is made by a company called HPRC. It is a rucksack. If you look at the back of it, can you see that? Yep, it's got a rucksack strap on it there. But it is a rigid, hard case to protect your kit. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good place to start. Because I'm generally outside with cameras and carrying cameras around, and I like the protection and I like being able to wear it, which leaves my hands free. So if I want to carry a tripod, I can do. If I want to, you know, be doing something else, I can do all of that. And so the rucksack was a great idea and a great fit for me. Now, what I felt though was that the pick and pluck foam that you get with it, no, that wasn't for me at all. So I decided to take it to my local case. I say local, it's not local, it's 125 miles away, but I won't get my cases done anywhere else. This is a company called First Oakley Cases, and there's a guy there called Adrian who's an absolute genius when it comes to designing stuff. He really, really is. And I took the case, and what I usually do when I get a new flight case made up is I take all the bits and pieces along, I put them in the case, and I say, there you go, Adrian, please can you make it all fit? And somehow he does. He's done all kinds of cases in the past, but this one is absolutely beautiful. So this is a custom made flight case for the Sony Z90. Also fits NX80 and AX700. But let me show you now what's inside. So the lid is an odd shape because the flight case curves. They've done a brilliant job cutting this for me. And I've got the stick mic. So this is a Sony ECM XM1. It doesn't come with the Sony Z90, as you probably know. This stick mic came off an old camera, Sony NX70 camera. When I sold that, I kept the mic because it was so good. Be warned, there are cheap versions claiming to be OEM versions of this microphone available on eBay for about 30 quid, and they are absolute rubbish. I had one, I tested one, and it's in the bin. It went in the bin a long time ago. It just sounded terrible. The Sony version is about 200 quid, but it's a great mic. It's a short mic, it goes on the top of the camera, and it doesn't really get in the way of the lens. If you put something like an NTG, a Rode NTG mic on there, it sticks out a bit, and then as soon as you put a furry on, then that comes into shot. So I like that small Sony mic. I'm never going to get rid of it. It lives in the case here. And again, if I come back off of a shoot and this is empty, I know I've left my mic behind. So there's a method here. So let's get to the camera first. So this is the camera compartment. Now, I've had the case itself cut out of this red foam and then the black foam on top. And the black foam on top is to hide all the dirt and the marks, and the red foam is so that I can see inside the case. If I've left something in there, it's going to be pretty obvious. I've got a habit of taking a lens cap off, and we'll just leave that in the case like that. And then when I come to put the camera in, I'll be able to spot, you know, a black, I've got it at an angle, but you get the idea, the black lens cap there against the nice bright background. Now, there are a few cases available which you can buy right now off the shelf for the Sony Z90 and NX80, but what they don't take into account is a couple of things. One, extra life battery. Two, tripod plate. This just absolutely, I just can't get my head around this, but people who sell cases should use cases and understand what you want. A tripod plate, I don't want to be taking that on and off the camera every time I put it in and out of the flight case. So I've got my tripod plate mounted here all the time, and then the whole bit just beautifully, he says, slides in like so. It's all protected. I've got slots here for another 3 FV100 batteries, and I know I've got way more power than I need here, but it's a great setup there that I've got 4 batteries, 1 battery on the camera comes out ready to use straight away. I have got my radio mic here with this kit. This is the Sony radio mic setup here. So this is the UTX system, and then we've got the receiver here. We've got a small lapel mic, and that's in the blue case here. The little blue Pelly case has got a couple of things. I'll show you that in a minute. So I've got the radio transmitter here, and then next to it we've got the radio receiver. Just moving the LCD so I can see what I'm pointing at. Radio receiver. Now this has got with it the XLR plug. Now the reason it's got the XLR plug is I often like to have 2 microphones running. As you probably know, if I take the handle off of the Z90 and I use the SMA DP3 adapter, I can put this straight onto the camera. Now that's not what I want to do in this case. I want to put this on the top hot shoe and then be able to use the stick mic as well. So the case will take both of those mic setups, and that just pushes down and out of the way like so. The charger I've got with my kit is the Sony dual charger, and the model number of this, in case someone asks later, is an ACVQH10. I've had this for ages, and I've had this on a number of different cameras. This is something that I've done just so that I know what's happening, and it's just moved already, is when you've got 2 modes on this, you put your batteries on, and if you want to charge them, you make sure it's in the charge position. If you're in the VCR camera position, you can take a cable out and you can run your camera. But again, what I usually will do is knock it, leave the batteries on and not realise it's charging. So as long as it's all silver at the bottom, I know that it is actually charging. So that's a dual charger, dual fast charger, that lives in the case as well. And then these other little Pelly cases, I've taken my cards out, but these take your memory cards. These are absolutely brilliant. And I have 2 of these in the kit. And as you can tell, one's for empty cards, and then the other one is for full cards. So when I go out on a shoot, I've got a couple of cards in the camera, I've got more spare cards in there, and as I fill the cards up, they go into the, sorry, that's back to front, isn't it? They start off in there, then as I fill the cards up, they go into the full case so that I don't reuse them. So I keep those in there. Then in the top of the case, I've got my other cool little bright blue Pelly 1010 case, and in here I have got 1 set of headphones. I have got a mini jack cable here, which is for the radio mics, and I've also got the lav mic for the radio mic as well. So this is just the audio and cables. I've got to be careful not to trap any cables as I close that case. Other bits I've got in here are a plug for the charger and the eyepiece, the rubber eyepiece for the camera. And finally, and this is really useful, is just a Chinograph, a wax pencil. And I use this just to mark up my batteries when I've charged them. So if they've been sitting a couple of days, I know that I've recently charged them. So I'll mark them that they're charged, and then there's a confidence that when I go out shooting with a camera, I know that I've got charged batteries there. So there are other things I would have liked to have fitted into this case, but I just ran out of space. But this is a basic kind of shooting kit that I've got put together here. If you like it, let me know. What would you like to see changed if I make a second one? Please leave me any of your thoughts and comments below. And once again, thanks for watching.